the 1964 Masters Tournament. In the minds of golfers the world over, it is the annual Masters Championship in Augusta, Georgia, which officially proclaims the arrival of another spring, another golf season. The home of the Masters is the Augusta National Golf Club. Today, its classic Southern Colonial Clubhouse is perhaps the most famous building in golf west of St. Andrews. The Masters, you see, has grown over the 30 short years since it was founded into one of the game's 4 major championships. Today, it attracts a great international field. This year, no less than 25 players in the starting field of 98 are foreign stars. They come from every continent, and the flags of their countries flutter in the breeze. In the week preceding the tournament, everyone practices, everyone plays, and everyone prognosticates. One of the strongest favorites is the defending champion, young Jack Nicklaus, here with his wife, Barbara. Arnold Palmer, a 3-time Masters champion, appears fit and rested. Billy Joe Patton is on hand naturally. And so, of course, is Byron Nelson, winner of 2 Masters. Sam Snead, winner of 3. Ben Hogan, holder of the record low total for the tournament. Jimmy DeMeritt, another 3-time champion. And the old squire himself, Gene Sarazen. However, for the first time, a familiar figure is missing, and deeply missed. The late Horton Smith, the first Masters champion. It is not only the game's great players who converge on Augusta each April, but the game's great enthusiasts as well. Hotel rooms are at a premium in the crowded city, and some Masters regulars choose to make their quarters during the tournament in their private railroad cars. At Daniel Field, the city's subsidiary airport, there is constant activity. During the week of the Masters, over 1,200 landings by private planes are made. Here on the Sunday before the tournament, Hudson Boyd, a member of the Augusta National Golf Club, dressed for the occasion in his green club jacket, is at the airport to greet his guests, Dr. and Mrs. R. Brooks Scurry and their daughter. The Scurrys are from Greenwood, South Carolina, but this is their first visit to the Augusta National Golf Club, and there are, of course, a great many things to see. Hudson Boyd has planned a brief tour through the clubhouse, its high point, the memorabilia and portraits in the trophy room. Here, Clifford Roberts, chairman of the Masters Tournament since its inception. And here, the hickory-shafted clubs which Bob Jones, the founder and president of the Augusta National, used in 1930 when he made his brilliant sweep of the British and American Open and Amateur Championships, his majestic Grand Slam. On retiring from competition, Bob Jones started designing the Augusta National Golf Course in 1931, working with Alistair Mackenzie, the celebrated Scottish golf architect. No one has enjoyed playing the course more than President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the club's most illustrious member. Many veteran golf observers call the Augusta National the finest inland course in the world. Then, too, its holes, such as the long Creek Menace 13th, seem to evoke the spectacular. The most spectacular shot in all golf history, perhaps, was made on the par 5 15th. The spoon shot Gene Sarazen holed for his Double Eagle 2 back in 1935. At Masters time, when the dogwood is out, the course is at its loveliest. Azaleas are in bloom beneath the pines on the slope behind the 13th. And on the 12th hole, the golden bell is in flower. This year, however, the threat of a dark, grim, waterlogged Masters. Heavy rains wash out most of the practice rounds, drenching the fairways, puddling the tees and greens. Life shifts indoors. The reporters cluster around Jack Nicklaus. Which players in the field does the defending champion fear the most?
Well, of course, I think your first fellow you're going to have to talk about is Arnold. And Arnold's hasn't probably played as well as he usually does. Usually as this time of year, but I'm sure that this is his type of golf course. He always plays well here, and he, of course, he's eager for a win, and I'm sure that he'll probably play very well.
And Arnold Palmer. What does he think of his prospects of winning the Masters this year?
Well, from tee to green, I feel pretty good about my game. I have had a little trouble with my putting. Let's say that we're hoping that that's just temporary, and by Thursday, everything will be in good shape.
In the evenings, the traditional dinners go on. Here, Tournament Chairman Roberts and green-coated club members host the annual dinner for the foreign players. In the center, Al Balding of Canada. To his right, Bruce Devlin of Australia. Dave Thomas of Wales. Chen Ching-po of Nationalist China. Tumo Ishii of Japan. Charlie Coe of the home club, with Raymond Soda of Spain. Back for another visit, Bruce Crampton, the young Australian. Gary Player, the gifted South African, the only foreign player who has captured the Masters. And Bob Charles of New Zealand, the current British Open champion. On Wednesday, the day before the tournament, Tony Lima, the young Californian, warms up under clearing skies on the club's short practice course. A little long. Not so long. Here's Julius Boros, the Open champion, out on the practice course. He usually gets a lot of backspin on his shots. Yes, indeed. In late afternoon, the skies slowly continue to clear, and what do you know, the sun comes out, almost as if on cue. Suddenly, on the eve of the tournament, everything is bright and green and fragrant, and it seems like Augusta and the Masters again. Thursday morning, the day of the opening round, and what a glorious day we have. A cloudless blue sky, a warming sun. On the terrace, everyone is up for the tournament, relieved and happy that the weather has seen the light. Down on the first tee, the traditional honorary starters. The first players off, Jock Hutchison, number 79, age 79. Fred McLeod, number 81, age 81. Here they are, raring to go. Jock at the left, Fred at the right. They pause for a moment to be photographed with the tournament's officials. Now, down to business. It's Jock Hutchison's honor. Jock won the British Open Championship back in 1921. How well he still sets himself up before the ball. And there's a first-class tee shot, 180 yards straight down the middle. He'll take it. Fred McLeod, winner of the United States Open Championship in 1908. These hardy old Scots become years younger the moment they get a golf club in their hands. It's a fact. Another fine drive, down the left side of the fairway, about 175 yards out. The 28th Annual Masters Championship has begun. This is the largest opening day crowd ever at the Masters. As usual, a high percentage of the spectators are congregated around the first tee, where they can observe the parade of stars drive off. 15 amateurs, 83 professionals. Art Wall, Walter Stahl, Dean Beeman, Dow Finsterwald, Labron Harris Jr., Gary Player, Downing Gray. On opening day, the amateurs and pros are paired together. Dean Beeman, the national amateur champion, is playing with Julius Boros, the Open champion. Beeman lofts his approach to the plateau green of the 7th hole, a short par 4. Coming down well to the right of the pin. The golfer's right, that is. Boros is hitting a 9-iron. It's dead on the flag. Sitting down about 15 feet past. The greens are a little soft after all that rain, and they're holding very well. They're putting perhaps a shade on the slow side. Boros curls in a beautiful putt for his birdie. We should see some low scoring today. The conditions are quite ideal. Hardly a breath of wind right now. Arnold Palmer has caught the bunker guarding the 7th green. He almost holed it. That ball just twisted off the corner of the cup. Arnold has started off in a most impressive fashion this morning. 6 solid pars in a row, and he should get his par here after that perfectly executed explosion shot. And he does. Incidentally, Arnold's playing with Labron Harris Jr., the 1962 amateur champion. Approaching the 7th green now, Jack Nicklaus. After a typically huge drive, he's playing a wedge. And he's hit that shot well past the pin to the extreme back of the green, about 35 feet past. This downhill putt won't be as touchy as usual, but touchy enough. It has the line, but it's short by inches. On the 9th hole, 420 yards long, Nicklaus is playing an 8-iron on his approach after another tremendous drive. He cut that ball nicely into the flag from left to right. But this time, he's 30 feet short of the cup. Jack must settle for his 9th straight par. Still looking for that elusive first birdie, Nicklaus plays his second, a 4-iron on the 10th, 470 yards long, par 4. A firmly struck iron shot. Lands right at the pin and rolls about 16 feet past. This is always one of the hardest greens to putt, the 10th. He's hit a firm putt. Just missed the birdie. Jack went on to card a 71, 1 under par, despite taking 37 putts. Some people are holing putts, though, and one of them, as usual, is Dean Beeman. Here on the 14th, he's got a long sliding birdie putt. And he knocks it in. No pro putts any better than Dean Beeman. On the 14th, later in the day, Davis Love. He needs this 10-footer to scramble out his par. Yes, the young pro from North Carolina is on his way to a fine 69. The large crowds are seeing a lot of exciting golf today. On the 15th, Bobby Nichols, precariously close to the lake in 2, wedges a handsome recovery out of the spinach and onto the green. Not long afterwards, on the 15th, Downing Gray chips for his eagle. And he holds it, the most sensational shot of the day. At the end of the first round, 5 men, including Palmer and Player, are tied for the lead with 69s, 3 under par. The unique scoring system here at the Masters records a golfer's progress hole by hole in terms of how many strokes over par or under par he is at that point. Green numbers indicate he's over par. A green 0, he's even par. Red numbers, he's under par. No other system shows you as clearly or as quickly the relative standing of the leaders. Friday morning, the day of the second round, and the behind-the-scenes machinery of this great tournament is quietly operating. Each day, the greens are double mowed twice to make them fast and true. Similarly, twice each day, the fairways are mowed both lengthwise and across. The gallery guards are in position. The pins are being set. On the pin setting committee, 2 champions of the past, Denny Shute and Johnny Fisher. Near the pro shop, the uniformed caddies are waiting for their players to arrive. Some are young men, and some are old. All of them know their golf inside out. The day's play begins. For the spectators, for the golfers, Bob Charles, the great left-hander, runs a long, long putt, practically the width of the 4th green. A marvelous approach putt, and it brings a loud round of applause from the large gallery. On the 8th Dow Finsterwald, a veteran contender lies 2 off the front edge on this par 5. A pretty chip stops about 5 feet from the cup. Down goes the birdie putt. Up ahead on the shadow-strewn 13th green, Player and Littler. Gary's putting for his par 5. It's taking the break perfectly. It falls, and Gary Player cuts loose with a few steps of that old Johannesburg cakewalk. Littler's birdie attempt now, a 5-footer. Yes. Player and Littler, however, are having their hands filled getting their figures today. For that matter, most of the players who started with good first rounds are finding the going hard. Bob Golby, for example, has soared well over par, and he definitely is in a mood to gamble with his second on the long, dangerous 15th. He's tagged that one. It's carrying well over the lake. Oh, he's hit a superlative shot, and the gallery roars its appreciation. This 8-footer for his eagle. Get in there. Oh, he worked on that putt. Meanwhile, on the 17th, Jack Nicklaus, even par, fights to save his par on this hole. A picture postcard shot. These are the putts you've got to make in tournament golf. Slid over the corner. It's not Jack's day. The second day of the Masters, and it was written in the skies, "Go Arnie Go," belonged to Arnold Palmer. Army went. No other leader did. The ground forces of Arnie's army line the 15th fairway as Palmer arrives at that hole 1 under par. He's taking a 3-wood going for the green. Slight following wind. It's long enough, but it's veering way off to the right, and it's coming down behind the spectators packed along the right side of the green area. Nobody hurt. Palmer has been in a remarkably pacific, almost placid mood so far in this tournament. Now, as he surveys the lay of the land around the hole, he doesn't seem to be the least bit disturbed by that wild second. The first really bad shot he's hit in 2 days, by the way. He's been very straight, especially for Palmer. He'll be popping the ball out over that bunker. Here it comes now. Arnold did not hit a good shot there. He left himself 35 feet short. That ball is running dead straight for the cup, and it could be. He's holed it. Arnold Palmer has holed a tremendous 35-footer here on the 15th. That birdie puts him 2 under par for the round. He's well out in front of everyone now. Bob Jones, seated close by the 15th green, chats with Arnie. A pat of congratulation. On the par 3 16th, after hitting a 5-iron 7 feet from the cup, Arnold has a chance for another birdie. He rolls it in and goes rolling on. By climaxing his great rush on the second 9 with still another birdie on the 18th, Palmer added a 68 to his opening 69. His total of 137 gives him a fairly commanding 4-stroke lead over his closest pursuer, Gary Player. The way Arnie's going, he has a good chance to become the first 4-time winner of the Masters. They say that in early April, all roads lead to Augusta. They certainly seem to on Saturday, the day of the 3rd round. By midday, the club's 2 vast parking lots, which between them can accommodate 10,000 autos, were completely jammed. Long before the first twosome teed off at 11:30, Spectators had staked out choice positions on the scenic holes. The more conventional early arrivers made for the various points of interest around the clubhouse. Some examine the magnificent Masters Trophy, compounded from more than 1,200 separate pieces of silver. Other fans encircle the huge practice green. Incidentally, 48 players qualified for the last 2 days of play. The cutoff figure this year, 148 for the first 2 rounds. 10 foreign players, including both Chin Ching Po and Tumo Ishii, made the cut. The practice area, of course, is jammed by thousands of fans, and the usual throng is milling around the first tee. There, as they wait for the leaders to appear, they pick up their pairing sheets and carefully plot a schedule for their day's spectating. Nicklaus is the first contender to tee off. He trails Palmer by 7 shots. He must move now and move fast. He's paired with Chichi Rodriguez, the immensely talented little Puerto Rican. Chichi can sock that ball. Chichi at the right, 7 shots off Palmer's pace, chips on the first hole. And he sinks it for a dramatic birdie. That could fire Chichi up. On the second, a neat pitch gives Chichi a good chance for another birdie. Right in the back of the cup. He's making a strong move to get back into the battle. He isn't crowd shy, this boy. On the third hole, a drive and pitch par 4, Nicklaus's approach bounded to the back of the long green, and he's putting 3 from 55 feet away. Chichi's up close for a crack at another birdie. Jack strikes the ball smoothly, and it's rolling. It's rolling right for the hole. Oh, a terrific try by Jack Nicklaus. Chichi now from about 14 feet. It hangs on the lip, no luck. Chichi's hot streak was starting to cool off when Arnold Palmer, paired with Gene Littler, teed off at 1:36 p.m. Arnold's hitting the ball powerfully, as he always does, but he's playing well within himself this year. Littler now, one of the game's classic swingers. An absolutely perfect shot. However, on this third round, none of the players chasing Palmer is able to narrow the gap. Arnold is simply playing better golf than anyone else. He's hitting the fairways and he's hitting the greens hole after hole. 7 straight pars behind him as he plays his third shot on the par 5 8th. A lovely little pitch and run. All the facets of his iron play are sharp this week. That familiar hunched knock-kneed stance. Yes, that puts Palmer 1 under par for the round, and he's 8 under for the tournament now. Dave Marr, playing just ahead of Palmer, hits his approach to the 10th. It fades a shade and finds the bunker to the right of the green. Marr, a polished young professional from Texas, is a cousin of Jack Burke's. He's played a superb recovery, and that could save his par here. Marr just birdied the 9th to go 3 under par for the tournament. A big putt here for him. This 10th green can fool you. Shaded by the tall pines, it's a touch slower than the other greens. Palmer on the 10th. After a long drive to the bottom of the hill, he's taking a 5-iron. Pins at the back of the green. He's drawing it. The ball's coming in to the left of the flag as we see it. A wonderful approach, rolling to within 8 feet of the cup. Arnold's been putting those irons up very close. He left that birdie putt short, and Arnie is real peeved with himself. Arnold's 6 shots in front of the nearest challenger at the moment. However, Arnie isn't letting up one iota. Knowing Arnold, he'd like to widen that lead if he can. Up ahead on the tee of the par 3 12th, Rodriguez and Nicklaus. Chi-Chi's dash is now definitely over. Jack, however, has just birdied the 11th. He may finally be starting to move. Good gravy, that's unbelievable. He shanked that shot. It's arcing way out to the right and on the far side of Ray's Creek. Jack takes it very good-naturedly. Must be years since he cold-shanked a shot like that. We'll get a good line here on Jack Nicklaus's poise. 110 yards out, he must drop the ball just over the creek. And that's exactly what he's done. What a 3 this would be. It's taking the roll. Oh, a heartbreaker. Jack went on to finish with a 71, but in truth, he never quite got going in high gear. Action up ahead near the 13th green where Demerit and Hogan are playing. Jimmy Demerit's second has caught the far bank of the creek. He wants his sand wedge. Hold it. No, he decides he wants another club. Another pretty catch. He's got his pitching wedge now. He wanted a sharper bladed club. Let me tell you, Jimmy Demerit has just played a beautiful, beautiful golf shot. He would have to go and miss that putt. The story in this twosome, though, is Ben Hogan. Ben, it appears, has at long last gotten over his putting jitters. In any event, he's playing exceptionally good golf today. If he drops this short birdie putt, he'll go 3 under par for the round. Perfect putt. There must be 10,000 people watching this one hole. Back on the 11th, Palmer has run into trouble. He's hooked his approach into the creek, protecting the green. A penalty stroke, a drop beside the lateral hazard. A possible 6, unless he can get down in 2 from the front apron. He almost got down and won, an elegant chip. Palmer gets out of the hole with a 5. Palmer follows with 2 pars, then a birdie on the 14th, and he's 8 under for the tournament. He's out in front, all by himself. Another birdie on the long 15th brings Arnold to the tee on the 16th. He'll be trying to keep this hot streak going by adding a 3rd consecutive birdie on this awesome 190-yard par 3. Between the tee and the green, no fairway, only water. A 5-iron. A very good-looking shot coming down hole high, about 15 feet to the right of the flag. Absolute quiet now. He's holed it. His birdie puts Palmer 10 under par for the distance. On the 18th, some 20 minutes later, an enormous gallery watches as Palmer plays his approach to the green. Coming down to our left as we watch it. That's the 16th green Arnold has hit in regulation or better today. He finishes with 2 putts for his par 4 and the 69, his 3rd straight round under 70. One of the late starters today, Gary Player, has mounted a promising rally on the backside. Here on the short 16th, Player's using a 4-iron, and he's rifled a beauty that hits the green about 10 feet to the right of the pin. The colorful 1961 Masters champion has birdied the 2 par 5s coming in. A birdie here, and he'll move to within 5 shots of Palmer. In all the way. Look at that player whoop it up. Gary Player could not sustain that pace, however. He missed his pars on both the 17th and 18th, and when he did, he ceased to be a serious contender once and for all in the 1964 Masters. Bruce Devlin has suddenly entered the picture. The young Australian has burned up the backside with 2 birdies and an eagle. He stands 5 under par for the round, 5 under par for the tournament as he comes to the 18th. Here's his approach. Looks very good. No, it's short. It's caught the bunker before the green. Devlin's approach half buried itself in the face of that bunker. He's got a very tough shot in front of him. Oh, he's played a golf shot. It's up there stiff. Paired with Devlin, the veteran Jim Ferrier, Australian by birth. One of the game's finest putters, he faces a difficult 25-footer. Downhill all the way. Sliding. Right into the cup. That's the way to finish a round. A 69 for Ferrier. Devlin, this putt for a 4 and a 67. Well holed, Bruce Devlin takes over second place. That 67 puts Devlin 5 under par for the tournament, but he's still 5 big strokes behind the leader, Arnold Palmer, who has been out in front all the way. 6 strokes back, Dave Marr. 7 strokes back, Gary Player, Jim Ferrier, and Peter Butler, the English PGA champion. What does it all add up to? Well, Arnold Palmer is certainly in an excellent position to become the first man ever to win the Masters 4 times. That's the first thing we'll all be watching tomorrow. On top of that, will Palmer be able to equal or better Ben Hogan's record low total of 274, 14 under par? And one more thing, will he be able to equal or better the record winning margin of 7 shots Kerry Middlecoff set back in 1955? We'll see. Here it is, Sunday, the day of the 4th and final round. Ben Hogan tees off. Ben had a glittering 67 yesterday, his best competitive round here since he set his record low total back in 1953. On the par 5 second, Hogan's route toward the green on his second shot is stymied by tall pines. He must hook the ball low, out, and around them. Ben may have hit that shot too hard. He wanted to lay up short of that bunker. Playing 3, 60 feet away. He's an artist, this Hogan. Up there close. Yes, a 6-footer for his birdie. A good stroke. And down it goes. Hogan, now 51 years old, finished the 72 holes 1 under par. A wonderful showing. At 12:50, Bruce Devlin tees off. He won the St. Petersburg Open earlier this year, this lanky, likable 26-year-old Australian. He's partnered with Gary Player. Bruce is off fast, a birdie on the first, a 6-footer for another here on the second. Now he's only 3 shots off Palmer's pace. Palmer is due off at 1:25 p.m. He'll be paired on this 4th round with Dave Marr. Arnold seems quite eager to get going. The weather, by the way, is absolutely ideal again. Winnie Palmer, Arnold's very charming wife, seems to be quite relaxed about the whole proceedings. Arnold, let me point out, has not won a major title since the 1962 British Open. He's extremely determined to end that drought. A solid hit. A little to the left, but nothing to worry about. Dave Marr trailing by 6 shots. Down the right side, but it should be all right. On the second green, Marr holds a 6-foot birdie putt. Another birdie by Marr on the third cuts Palmer's margin to 4 shots. Devlin's also 4 shots behind now after missing his par on the fourth. Here on the fifth, Devlin must get down in 2 to save his par. A very fine approach putt up and over that billowing contour. A 6-footer left. No, it grazed the high corner. Devlin now trails Palmer by 5 strokes, just as he did at the start of the day. Devlin comes to the ninth, still 5 strokes behind. He must gamble for birdies now. He goes for the pin tucked behind the front bunker and finds the bunker. Devlin cannot afford to drop another stroke. A handsome recovery, 3 feet from the cup. He's missed it. He's out of it now, but what a valiant run at the leader Bruce Devlin made yesterday and early today. Palmer is on the 7th. He's even par for the round as he plays his pitch to the elevated green. Crisply punched. A beauty, spinning back about 10 feet from the cup. The greens are putting moderately fast now. Gauged the speed perfectly. The aerial wing of Arnie's Army knows the score he needs to break Hogan's mark. Go for 67, Arnie. On to the ninth. Dave Marr is away. His steep 7-iron approach fades off to the right and pulls up 40 feet from the pin. Palmer, a birdie here, would put him 12 under par. Hogan's record total, remember, 14 under par. It lands hole high, bounces forward and spins back 8 feet from the hole. Some right to left break on this birdie putt. A little tentative on that one. Right, Arnold? Palmer, 1 under par going out, 11 under for the tournament, leads Dave Marr, his closest challenger, by 4 shots. However, Arnold failed to get his par on the 10th, and now he will have to play fantastic golf to threaten Hogan's record total. He still leads Marr by 4, though, as they come to the treacherous water hole, the short 12th. It looks like Arnold has played still another beautiful iron shot. It's dropping softly on the green, 18 feet from the pin. Dave Marr now. He's cutting it awfully fine. It just catches the last foot of the hazard and topples back in. Marr drops over his shoulder. He's playing 3 now. Perfectly conceived and executed. This young man has lots of finesse. Arnold's away. Missed it on the right, and he settles for his par. Dave Marr has been putting extraordinarily well throughout this tournament. He'd love to drop this one. That's quite a 4. Up ahead on the 13th fairway, Jack Nicklaus, who's finally started to roll, flies a long, high iron that hits the flagstick and sits down very close to the flag. It's just about 2.5 feet away. Jack walks up to examine the flagstick. No damage. He's feeling very chipper, and well, he might. He's birdied 3 of the last 6 holes, and an eagle 3 here will put him 4 under par for the round. Down it goes. 16th tee. Nicklaus now 5 under par for the day after picking up a birdie on the 15th, guns for another. He's going right for the pin. The daring shot comes off. Jack's been putting smoothly and well down the stretch. It looks good. Jack sank to his knees trying to coax that putt in. He needed that one to keep alive his chances of a miracle finish. His rush is over. Meanwhile, on the long 13th, Palmer, lying to, just off the back edge of the green, makes a dramatic bid for his eagle. And almost holds the monster. Barring a sudden severe loss of form, and nothing looks less likely, Arnold Palmer is home. He's playing his second on the long 15th now. He starts it down the right side of the fairway. Palmer's right. Now it's drawing in toward the pin. The ball plummets down in the middle of the green and finishes at the back edge. As Palmer approaches the green, he is accorded a tremendous stand-up ovation. In scoring his Masters victories in 1958, 60, and 62, he did so with incredible last-ditch finishes. This year, he is marching surely and serenely to victory. Palmer is 11 under par again as he putts for his Eagle 3 here. He didn't charge that putt. It's clear that his first consideration is to nail down victory and not to risk unnecessary peril by going all out after Hogan's record. A birdie 4 on the 15th, but Palmer still needed 2 more birdies to tie Hogan's 274. When he missed his birdie on the 16th and then missed his par on the 17th, Hogan's mark was safe and secure. Now we're on the last hole. Dave Marr, still playing very fine golf, he's 3 under for the day, sends a high-flying approach over the top of the flag. Arnold has belted a long drive. He's taking a 6-iron. The ball's coming in on the left as we see it. Landing on the front part of the green and kicking in toward the pin. And there goes the gallery. Look at them race for positions. Dave Marr, a slippery downhiller for his birdie. Yes, yes, yes! And by holding that putt, Dave Marr ties Jack Nicklaus for second place. Their total's 282, 6 under par for the tournament. Arnold now, a side hill 20-footer. The line is perfect. He's got it! A fitting climax as Arnold Palmer becomes the first golfer ever to win the Masters Championship 4 times. Palmer checks his scorecard. Pinkerton men escort him to the clubhouse. Palmer's last round, a 2 under par 70. His margin of victory, 6 shots, the largest since Kerry Middlecoff's triumph by 7 shots in 1955. Palmer's total, 276, only 2 shots above Hogan's record score. One amazing sidelight. Palmer 3-putted only 1 green in 72 holes, the 64th. Shortly afterwards, Jack Nicklaus, the 1963 champion, helps Palmer into the Victor's Green Augusta jacket, Palmer's 4th. Now the players gather on the putting green for the presentation ceremony. Tournament Chairman Roberts turns the mic over to Billy Joe Patton, filling in for Bob Jones. A medal for Gary Cowan of Canada, tied for low amateur. His showing is the best ever in the Masters by a foreign amateur. Now, the golfer who tied with Cowan at 291, Dean Beeman. Prizes for Dave Marr, co-runner-up with Jack Nicklaus. And last but not least, the champion himself. No golfer has ever dominated the Masters as Arnold Palmer did this year. In retrospect, his control of the tournament was never in jeopardy. Throughout the tournament, his powerful long game was as impressive as ever. He holed a few long putts that helped him immeasurably. But essentially, his exceptional performance was built on the magnificent quality of his iron play. On hole after hole, he put his approach shots extremely close to the flag, and so gave himself innumerable chances for birdies. If the Augusta National Course yields to anything, it is to sharp, accurate iron play of the order Palmer produced. These were the shots that carried Palmer to victory. In winning his 4th Masters Championship, Arnold Palmer has become a more popular idol than ever, and he may well have entered upon a new and even more remarkable period in his phenomenal career.